Hey y'all, it's Lindsay, and today is day 5 of my current egg fast. Today I wanted to just share with you my last day of egg fasting before I start to transition back over to regular keto. And it's kind of basic, kind of boring. It's pretty much the things I've been eating this entire egg fast. Today is day 5 of my egg fast. And tomorrow I hope to be able to film how I transition from the egg fast over to keto again. It's gonna take a couple of days to do that just because when you go from the egg fast over to keto, it can sort of, like, your body tends to hold on to stuff a little bit more. And I'm starting to wonder if that has to do with inflammation, but that's neither here nor there. But for now, let me just show you what I eat today. Alrighty, for breakfast I'm having 3 scrambled eggs with about 2 tablespoons of mayo. I cooked this in about a tablespoon of butter, and I've got a little bit of Cholula, and I am almost out of my homemade mayonnaise, so I've got a couple eggs sitting out to be able to make another pint of mayo. And then obviously my Cholula, which I love. We go through, like, I don't know, a bottle of this every month, give or take. So it's a staple in our house. And then this was my first cup of coffee. It had a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter and a tablespoon of my MCT oil. And I plan to have one more of those here in just a minute. It's time for lunch. I hard-boiled a bunch of eggs in my Instant Pot and used 3 in this egg salad. I used 3 tablespoons of that homemade mayonnaise and some Cholula on top. I decided that I wasn't going to go too heavy on cheese today just to see how that affected my hunger and how that affected the way that I feel overall, and it went pretty alright, I guess. And I decided to finish off my lunch with a last coffee. This has 1 tablespoon of MCT oil and 1 tablespoon of the Kerrygold butter. And as you can see, it is about 12:30 whenever I am having this. For dinner tonight, I made an omelet, and this was a 3-egg omelet cooked in a tablespoon of butter. And I put an ounce of pepper jack cheese in the middle and then topped it up with a couple of tablespoons of that homemade mayo and Cholula sauce on top. Well, I survived. It's the end of the night. It's been a very long day. It is 9 o'clock here, and I've got all the girls in bed. Jared is on a trip right now, and I've received a lot of information today, and it's really gotten my wheels turning in my brain. And so here's where I'm at. I started thinking about the fact that I have been having some breakouts here along my jawline and my cheek zone and a little bit in my temple area. And I thought they were related to my cycle, but these have been here now for a couple of weeks. And I thought maybe, well, I did my first egg fast and everything was pretty great. And then I had a few days on keto while Jared was at home, and we were having things like my homemade Twix bars that are low carb, and we were eating things like nuts and cheeses and summer sausage in the evenings again, because we just like really enjoy having snacks whenever we're sitting together on the couch at the end of the night when everybody else is in bed and we get to watch our shows. So it was like going back to our old ways of just like hanging out, snacking on the couch, eating our desserts, kind of a thing, and just kind of what we were doing with keto originally, which I've kind of started to pull away from and wanted to do more, I guess just like not snacking and being a little bit more intentional with meals and trying to only do like 2 to 3 meals per day as opposed to meal, snack, meal, dessert, which winds up being probably close to like 2 or 3 desserts per day. And how is that any different than a standard American diet? Like, I'm just shuffling my macros around. I got to really thinking today, like, okay, I've had these breakouts. maybe it was the like going back and having a lot more nuts and more of the like the processed summer sausage and the desserts and stuff like that, having erythritol and whatnot. And so that's kind of where I was thinking. And then I've been on this egg fast now for 5 days. And these little guys have not really gone away. I do have like an extra one that came up, and I started thinking like, what is going on here? And I was listening to some information about, you know, the omega profiles of foods and oils and that kind of stuff, and how in animal products, the omega profiles are better than they are in plant foods. I got to thinking about it. I was like, okay, I've been making my own homemade mayo for a long time now, and I use avocado oil. Sometimes I'll use olive oil. Well, omega-6 imbalances can cause inflammation and breakouts. And what do I have? Like, whenever your skin breaks out, it's inflamed. Like, there's some kind of inflammation that your body is reacting to. Like, what is the omega and so of course that got me on the train of what is the omega profile for avocado oil? Like, surely it's not that terrible. It's probably got a pretty good profile. No, it's not the worst for sure. But it's definitely not the best. So let me see if I can find it again here. So out of 100 grams of oil, like per 100 grams of oil, olive oil has 9.6 grams of omega-6 and 0.7 grams of omega-3. But in avocado oil, there are 12.5 grams of omega-6 and 0.9 grams of omega-3 per 100 grams of oil. So it's definitely not as good as olive oil, but I've been focusing so much more on having avocado oil as my mayo base because in my mind it was healthier. So I'm wondering if all that avocado oil isn't helping to cause the inflammation in my face, which is a problem. And I'm starting to wonder, was that all that avocado oil mayo causing, like, was it a little bit slow on the uptake from my first egg fast, and it just started to manifest as Jared and I were eating just like our basic keto way of eating. And so all these things are flying around my head, right? I feel like I've got like so many little rabbit trails here that it's not even cute. All this was going through my head. And so today I decided that I would clarify some butter and try to make some mayo out of that. I won't be doing that tonight because the kids are asleep, but I've got my clarified butter back here. And I'm gonna try to make it into mayonnaise tomorrow with my eggs and just that, and a little bit of salt, probably, touch of vinegar. Anyway, you know, my basic a mayonnaise recipe, just using the clarified butter instead of the olive oil or the avocado oil to see where that gets me, because I wanna say the omega profile for butter was like really good. In butter, in some of these charts, it shows that it has 0.4 grams of omega-6s per 100 grams. So some of these charts that I'm finding, like, it's very hard to find conclusive information, but it's definitely better than like avocado or olive oil or any of these other plant-based oils. So I'm just like, maybe this is my issue. We're gonna be making some clarified butter mayo tomorrow, and I'm gonna be transitioning off an egg fast, so hopefully I can film that for you tomorrow. I will wind up eating egg fasts for breakfast and lunch, and then dinner I will switch over to like just animal products, but more like probably meat. In my freezer I know I've got a bunch of venison and chicken, obviously, and I've got some beef in there, and I've got some pork. I've got plenty to choose from. I just have to make a decision and go with it. And so that'll be tomorrow. And then on the following day would be technically day 7 since starting this second egg fast. And I would do 2 carnivore meals with 1 egg fast meal at the beginning of the day, and then shift back over to keto. But I think I'm gonna stay kind of more on the animal kingdom side of things for now. And I heard this one phrase today on a podcast, a keto podcast, and one of the people on the podcast said, well, I'm carnivore till 4, and then I add in roasted vegetables if I want them for that day. And I was like, now that's something I could get on board with, especially when transitioning from like egg fast to keto, keto to carnivore kind of a thing. Like, and you know, just, I don't know. That just seems like it's a little bit more realistic for my day-to-day life at this moment. Just trying to figure it all out. And I keep looking at myself because my camera keeps flashing in and out of focus, it feels like. So anyway, that's all. I'm not eating anything else tonight. It's already it's probably like 9:15 now. Yep, 9:15. Since I'm all done eating for the day, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go here. I wanna thank you so much for joining me today on my last day of pure egg fast day, day 5, and I will see y'all in the next video.